Hello, and welcome to the channel, and today, we'll be discussing Backrooms levels I believe I would survive. And if you couldn't already tell by the title, this is actually the part 4 to the series. So I heavily recommend you go watch the other ones, just for a little bit more context. But let's stop stalling and let's begin. Level 13 has a survival difficulty of 2, so it's unsafe, secure, but has a low entity count. So this level's fairly safe. But this level's pretty much just an infinite apartment complex. But it does have its own fair share of entities, as one of the most common entities on this level is the window. And you might be wondering, what do I mean by the window? Because, to be honest, it's just a normal window, right? Well, no, it's not a normal window, as it is highly dangerous to get near one. But that's not the only entity on this level, as there are smilers and death moths. But there's actually an entity that's very peaceful on this level, as if you go down to level 0 on this level specifically, so yeah, no, not the actual level 0, but on the first floor of the level, which is the lobby. And there's actually a front desk, and behind that desk is actually a faceling. And if you ask him for a room number, he will actually give you the keys to that said room. So yeah, he's pretty much just a chill guy. So yeah, I think I would definitely survive this level. So let's get to the next one. Level 14, aka called Paradise, is actually very chill, and it actually has a minimal amount of entities, as you can tell by its survival difficulty. Okay, yeah, this place is very dangerous. And you might be wondering, how so? Well, I'ma just say there's a bunch of people sleeping underground. Like, a very deep sleep. Oh, by the way, there's actually a cult in this forest. And yeah, they will not hesitate to turn you into Thanksgiving dinner. Well, you might be wondering, is there any way to get out of this level? Well, probably not. As on the wiki, for the exits, it says you won't have to worry about that, which could potentially mean that there isn't an exit, which would really suck. But I have an idea. As what I've been taught by Fortnite is I can just pop a rift to go. So I am surviving this level mid to high diff. So let's get to the next one. Unlike the last level, this level is actually very safe, as it has a level 0 difficulty rating. So it's safe, secure, and it's devoid of entities. And this level is pretty much just a gigantic spaceship. And the level is actually not even infinite, as the level is 600 kilometers squared, which is actually larger than Manhattan. So yeah, this level is pretty much just a gigantic star destroyer. So yeah, I'm 100% surviving this level. So let's get to the next one. This is possibly the strangest level we've covered so far, as it has 2 different classifications. This is because the level has 2 different sections. So let's go over them. The first section of the level I'm going to talk about is the rainforest. And it's pretty much just a normal rainforest. And this part of the level has a class 0 difficulty rating. So yeah, this place is actually very safe. And it's devoid of any entities. So yeah, I'm on 100% surviving this section of the level. So let's go ahead and look at the other one, as it's pretty strange. as this level kind of resembles Antarctica, as it's covered in snow and ice. But this level isn't really normal, as the classification for it is actually undetermined. So yeah, there isn't much information on this section of the level. But what is known about this section of the level is that it's very unstable. And you might be wondering, in what way is it unstable? Well, on this part of the level, it actually keeps changing. So, because of that, there isn't any bases on this level. But this level keeps getting stranger, as the Arctic section of this level stays at a relatively high temperature, as its temperature is around 40 to 50 degrees, which is pretty strange, obviously, because of its Arctic climate. But this level does have some entities, as they are called the light guides, and they pretty much just float around. They're just orbs in the sky. They don't really do anything to you. And you might be wondering, are there any other entities on this level? Well, surprisingly not. There actually isn't. So yeah, this level's actually pretty chill. So yeah, 100% I'm surviving this level. So yeah, let's get to the next one. This level is a gigantic aircraft carrier, and this level has a Class 1 difficulty rating. So this level is safe, secure, and it doesn't have many entities. So yeah, it's actually pretty chill. But it ain't normal, as some of the hallways twist and turn. So yeah, that's definitely not normal. And another strange part of this level is that some of the hallways are flooding, and the water pretty much just goes up to your knees. But if you dive into that water, you'll actually go back to level 7. But if you watched my second Backrooms video, you would be able to tell why I wouldn't want to go back. So yeah, note to self, do not dive in the water. But yeah, let's go see the entities that are on this level, as there are quite the few. As one of the entities on this level are called the imprints. And these imprints are kinda bad, as if you look at them in the eyes, they will make you pass out. And it'll be for a little bit, but you won't die. And what's strange about these imprints is that they actually look like people who've been to the level. So yeah, it's pretty weird. And another entity on this level is a window. Yeah, that again. And they're actually found on higher levels of the boat. But the difference between this one and the other one we've talked about is that this one is even more dangerous. As if you look at it for too long, your lungs will completely fill up with water. So yeah, it's not great. So yeah, do not look at the windows. So would I survive this level? Probably, most likely. I would probably have a good 60% chance of survival. This is the end of the video, so make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.